A very good evening, a very warm welcome to Unacademy Live on my channel. I'm Paromita Chattaraj and I extend a very warm welcome on behalf of Unacademy on my live channel, which is Unacademy CBSE Class 9 and 10, Paromita Chattaraj. So today's topic that we have taken is into the real world, and the most what you call the problematic topic that we are facing as parents as well as students today is how to manage stress during our exams. Most of the students that we see today are very much stressed because probably it is the competitive era. So in today's session, I'll be taking you across the journey as to how to manage the stress, and it is during the exams as well as in general also. In the end of the session, there are few questionnaires. So please subscribe the video, like the video, share it, and solve the questionnaires. And you can assess as to how stress is reflected and how it can be handled. So moving ahead, just to introduce myself, I am Paramita Chattaraj, and I'm a qualified English teacher for more than 15 years, and it's been a very good journey as an English educator. And I am also a certified British Council activity coordinator, and I've been passionately teaching my students how to be skillful and how to master the English language, as we know that English is the Queen's language. Now, you can follow me on www.unacademy.com, and I will just brief you about the K-12 Unacademy subscription and how to go about it. So you can have multiple features. You can learn from the comfort of your home, and you have unlimited access to all the courses. You have top educators mentoring you, and you will have live quizzes, doubt clearing sessions. You will be provided with multiple study material as well as live test series, and all the study material and answer writing sessions. You will also have mentorship and guidance from the top educators. And you can see these are some of the ongoing batches. You have full syllabus batch for boards, half yearly examination batches, complete NCERT, mathematics batch, languages batch, and the upcoming batches are the full syllabus batch for boards, complete NCERT science and social science, half yearly exams, etc. Previous question, etc. So take the next step, go for the plus subscription on Unacademy. Use my referral code as PC29 and get a flat 10% discount on your subscription. Let me just brief you about the subscriptions. For a month, you pay 2,500. For 6 months, it's 10,000. For 12 months, it's 15,000. For 24 months, it's 25,000. For 36 months, it's 36,000. Now, if you apply my referral code, which is PC29, then you get a flat 10% discount. So this is the way that you go to the website, you get your K-12 subscription. If you are a 9th, 10th, 11th or 12th grader, you will have lot of backup and benefits in terms of your studies. So let's begin the session. Let's crack it. The most important topic, the real world topic, is how to deal with exam stress. Now, the level of stress, it can bring a level of stress and you can burnout that can hinder. There are a lot of inhibitions and apprehensions going on in the mind of the students, and I would provide you with some handy tips that you can manage your anxiety. The stress of exams actually affects most students in a lot of ways. Some of them are stressed from the very beginning, but there are little ways where you can handle and manage the stress. It is very important to manage this stress and find little ways of helping to, eliminate the risk of burnout. And while you understand how to handle this kind of a stress, while you understand how to come out of this stress, it is going to be actually a very relaxed atmosphere for you. There are people whose heart palpitations and sweaty hands, and these are some of the symptoms that is usually seen in terms of people who are very much stressed when they are just thinking about their final exams or maybe their board exams. It is a very common feature which is noticed in terms of students who are going to appear for their board exams. But my advice is that do not enhance this. Just calm down and relax. And just watch this video wherein I have provided a lot of handy tips. While you are studying or while you are revising, what you should be doing, the first thing, you should take regular breaks and schedule in fun things to look forward to. Sometimes if you are studying intensely for your exams, for your board exams or for your final exams, you have to have a break, right? Unless you take a break, you will not be able to grasp what you are actually trying to do, right? This can just include a 1-minute break for your maybe 20 minutes break. You can just go out, or maybe a half an hour or a 1 hour break. If you cannot take a long break, plan for short breaks. Go out for a walk. You can just watch a TV show, or you can attend maybe a comedy show, or you can just spend a little time listening to music. You may go out. Now, what actually is this going to do? This is going to help you to be refreshed and relaxed and make you rejuvenated when you sit next for your revision. Yes. The second handy tip is exercising, which most of the teenagers are not into. Sitting for a meditation, maybe breathing exercise. If not breathing, going out for a walk, or maybe to the swimming pool, maybe to the gym, or maybe just for jogging. I'm sure it is going to be very, very helpful, because the feel good factor immediately starts working if you are just a little lethargic or lazy. If you're not feeling like studying, go out for a walk or a jog or play something or go to the swimming pool, and it is definitely going to boost up your mood, and it is going to make you all the more productive while revising. Once you are saturated, this is definitely going to help you. Now, there will be a lot of people giving you a lot of advices. Do not compare yourself to others, right? It is always helpful for you to discuss the topic, revising together, but you will have your own way of revision, and your classmate or your friend will have his own way of revision. You need not get stressed by looking into his pattern of revision. Just listen, take the content, follow the pattern of your own revision as per your own comfort, right? Now, sometimes listening to other people talk about what they have learned will only stress you, make you feel like you have not done anything. Oh my God, you're not progressing. But here the advice is that if somebody is stressed and somebody is overdoing and somebody is giving his or her peace of mind to you, you have to be wise enough not to get stressed and follow your own heart and mind. You need not just get into somebody else's pattern of revision. You will have to trust yourself by saying that whatever I have done is going to help me. Be confident, but not overconfident. Be relaxed, but not casual. Now, sometimes if the stress is building up, right, it gets to a point that you just feel like sharing. There might be a friend, there might be a teacher, there might be your parents, there might be siblings. So at that point of time, you need to speak up. You have to speak as to where you are stressed. Probably at that point of time, when you share and when you speak to someone, it is going to de-stress you. Your university or school should have a service where you can speak to people. Nowadays, yes, all schools and all universities have got counselors, have got psychologists, but probably psychologists, if you are in the school, if you are stressed, if you feel like talking to the counselor, well and good, you can go for it. But if you feel that you can speak to uh, probably a friend or maybe your parents or maybe your sibling, this kind of sharing where you are stressed and you feel like sharing and telling and seeking advice is going to act as a miracle for you. Okay, sometimes you don't feel like sharing it to a family member, you can just call up one of your friend or your classmate whom you think you can actually share and get benefited. So this kind of a feeling that you are alone is not actually true. You can rely on somebody, you can fall on to somebody because it's a big world, right? So you can just go for it. Now we are just going to discuss about, there are some quick ways how to eliminate your stress. Sometimes while you are studying and you are just overwhelmed and you are there's too much of stress, what will you do? You will watch a film. You can watch a film, you can watch a TV show or listen to a podcast or comedian that makes you laugh. Okay, so this actually is going to help. Now this can be a 20-minute break. Okay, now how will you take this break? It's not necessary that you are into that examination and the study mode. When you are taking a break, you will have to religiously take the break, watch that film, maybe watch a TV show, or maybe listen to something which is comical, which is going to make you laugh. If you Now the second tip which is given over here is drinking hot chocolate or maybe a herbal tea. That also de-stresses you and takes your fatigue or your tiredness off. But again, having said that, drinking too much of caffeine related beverages will not help. Having a warm water or a warm shower can also de-stress you. Yes. The next tip that we see over here is cooking or maybe baking something. You can try out. Just the thought of eating delicious food can also make you de-stressed. As a bonus side note, try and cook something healthy. If you are feeling like having junk, then also you can cook it. If you are feeling like baking, you can bake a cake. Sometimes you feel like having something unusual, or sometimes you may feel you like having something healthy. You may cook either of the two and just fill your stomach and feel happy. Sleeping is very, very necessary. You should get at least 8 hours of sleep at night. Do not be awake. Do not remain awake at night. And do not just mess up everything when you get up in the morning. You studied the entire night, and when you wake up in the morning, when you are there in the exam hall, you have lost it. You forget everything. So sleeping at night is mandatory. Keep things in perspective. Yes, exams are very, very necessary. So are you. And how are you necessary? How are you important? You are important because if you are healthy, then you are going to tackle your exams and your exam results perfectly. Now, people who are in and around you and who are stressed, avoid the company of such people, right? There will be some classmates, saying, Oh, I have done this, I have done that. Have you revised it? Have you done that equation? Maybe you're discussing maths, or maybe you are discussing chemistry, or maybe English. At that point of time, you start thinking, oh God, he has done this also. Acha, he has done that chapter also. He has done that chapter also. My goodness, I have not done anything. What is going to happen? What if this question comes in the exam? So please avoid doing so. Please be confident that whatever I have prepared, I am going to represent that perfectly. All right. Do not get into those datas, those equations, those discussions, which is going to add on to your stress. Rather, whatever you have prepared, just think about it, that it is going to be fine. Because at the 11th moment, if you end up discussing those datas and those chapters that you have not done, it is not going to bring you anything. Because at the 11th moment, you just cannot prepare anything. The second most important thing is, after you have done your exam and you come out of the exam hall, whatever is done is done. That's the past. Do not get into that post-mortem mode, that, you know, over discussing, getting into the discussion that somebody has done this, somebody has done that, and discussing about the examination or the question paper which is already solved and nothing can be done. At that point of time, what you are supposed to be doing, you have to prepare for the next exam. You don't need to know how other people have done it. You should be only concerned about yourself, what you have done, how you have prepared, and how you are going to represent. That is very, very important, right? You cannot go back. You cannot change your answers, right? Focus on your next exam. Be flexible. You have a revision timetable. You will have to follow a schedule or a routine and a revision timetable for yourself. And one of the best tools in your arsenal for exam success, don't be too harsh on yourself. Don't torture yourself. Don't sit and overthink. Don't be stressed. Be relaxed. Practice good, healthy habits. Follow your timetable. Make sure that in a day, you at least cover 2 to 3 subjects, wherein I feel as a teacher, English and maths are a must to be practiced every day. Right? Now, sometimes you may not be able to follow that routine. At that point of time, don't think that the sky has fallen. Right? Please, if your body demands that you need to sleep, please sleep. Provide your body sufficient relaxation, and then only you will be able to be productively practicing and revising for your exams. You need not stress that I could not, this day is gone, and then, you know, oh my God, sky has fallen. What to do now? Whatever you feel like, whatever feelings are coming into your mind, try to write them down, right? Write them. This, I've done this. I feel that I have to practice chemistry, these equations, or maybe English, I have to practice these writing skills. Maths, I have to solve maybe trigonometry or arithmetic a little more. Maybe I am confident in algebra. And, you know, keep making a note that I am doing this, I have already done this, I will have to practice this in terms of all subjects. And this definitely is going to work. Second thing, if you practice English and maths every day, it works as miracle. Here, as an educator, I would just like to advise you that if you work hard in the initial 6 to 8 months as a student, even if you are if you are appearing for your home exams, or even if you are appearing for your board exams, initial 6 to 8 months, a student who works hard in these 6 to 8 months, the last 3 months are quite relaxing for him. So don't try to mug up everything in the 11th moment, because it is going to stress you all the more. Don't overthink. take certain things within your control, right? Under the guidance of your teacher and your parents, try to just balance yourself. Okay. Now, how will you revise? Leave plenty of time to revise so that, don't leave anything to the 11th moment. Just now I said, initial 6 to 8 months, if you practice everything as per the set timetable in the routine, then last minute cramming, last minute revision is just not going to help you. Do not ever indulge into that. You will have to develop a timetable and you will have to monitor it on your own. The X generation, the teenagers nowadays are quite smart in doing so. We as children used to need supervision. Probably 10 years back also children needed our supervision. As parents, we have also supervised. But when you are following your timetable, you will have to set a 10 minutes or a 15-minute break and then back to studies. Again, 2 hours of studies, a 15-minute break, back to studies. This is definitely going to work, right? Please do not indulge yourself into any wrong practices of intoxicating yourself. Short breaks when you are completely saturated, your mind is losing concentration, but don't get distracted, right? There are people who have the habit of doing maths with their earphones plugged in. Sometimes it works, but there are times when you are actually probably learning something and your mind is distracted somewhere. Stop at that time. At that point of time, probably your brain needs to go somewhere. Go there, come back, and then revise with full concentration. There can be alternative revision techniques also, right? Sometimes if you are not feeling like learning, you may just write down, right? You may watch a video regarding that particular topic and then revise and get the concept cleared. So certain alterations in your revision techniques will also work. Don't drink too much of coffee or aerated or fizzy drinks. Caffeine and aerated drinks will only harm. Exercising is a must. Moderate exercise. Begin your day with exercise after you wake up and freshen up. Give it a kickstart. The entire day is going to be sorted out automatically. The feel good factor is going to be built up very, very nicely. And it is going to reduce the stress and it is going to make you sleep better. If you sleep at night nicely, the next day is going to be all the more good. Now it's very natural to feel very, very nervous during the exam. Especially I have seen my students, I have taught the grade 10 students and I've seen them very, very nervous because I used to go personally to see them off. And there has to be some nervousness, but you'll have to, once you get inside the exam hall, slowly it eliminates, it goes off. Take deep breaths, get into breathing exercises. It is going to calm your nerves. Long and slow deep breaths. Give yourself a mental pep talk. Talk to yourself. I'm calm, I'm relaxed, I'm going to handle my exams very confidently because I have prepared well. Rather getting into the nail biting situation, oh my God, kya hoga? What am I going to do? Don't just get into that mood. Yes, so sometimes it happens that in the examination hall, you just go blank. Sit, relax, deep breathe, and you will just within 5 minutes, you will see that whatever you have learned, it is going to come back to you. Sometimes it happens that you're not able to remember whatever you had learned. Leave that question at that point of time. It has happened with me also. Every student undergoes this kind of a situation that the question is in front of him or her and the answer is just blank. It is washed off. Leave that question. Move on to the other question. Don't waste your time. you will have to utilize the entire 3 hours in managing the time, because your target is to finish the entire paper in 3 hours. Keep that question for, some other time later. You can come back to that question. A small bottle of water to hydrate yourself, and if it is allowed, take a piece of chocolate with you. It is an energy booster, number one. It gives you instant energy, and maybe if not chocolate, then sweet. It is going to help your energy levels to go higher and faster. And keep sipping water at regular intervals. Do not, hydrate yourself. Do not dehydrate yourself. Sometimes, if it is allowed for board exams nowadays, the rules and regulations have changed. Maybe after 1.5 hours, if you go to go use the washroom, compose yourself. And when you get back to work, at that point of time, relax, organize yourself, see that the entire question paper is in front of you, or maybe you have solved 50% of it and the 50% is waiting for you. Now you will have to sit again and start working on it. So you will have to do that also, right? There are invigilators to assist you during the exams. So you can just approach the invigilator if you have any doubt, but relevant doubts, right? So environment of a classroom, if it is troubling you, you can definitely approach the invigilator, and you can just go ahead, share your problem that probably the environment or maybe the sun is shining, and the invigilator is definitely going to attend you. Now, survey what is in front of you. The first thing, when your question paper comes in front of you, you will have to read all the instructions very, very carefully. You cannot just miss out. You have to fill in your details. Every page of the exam paper has to be filled in, right? There is a certain expectation from a student who is appearing either for the home exam or for the board exam. If it is not clear, if one read does not clear the instruction, reread it, right? Either 1 or 3. Sometimes I've seen students answering all the questions wherein there is a choice, either this or that, and the student ends up answering all of them. I have checked both papers, right? So please don't do that, because you end up just wasting your time. Instead, if you devote that time in reading the question paper and following the instruction, that is going to help you. It is. Okay. Now, after you have surveyed the entire exam paper, you will have to see, what am I supposed to be doing first? What am I supposed to be doing next? And then next. Very often people ask me, ma'am, which section is supposed to be done first? I always tell them, go as per the sequence. You just end up doing section C first, then section B, and then section A. Don't ever do that, because sometimes it creates a bad impression about the student on the examiner. So if you are taking up section A first, followed by B and C, you will have to divide those 3 hours, and those 3 hours are always, this practice can be done by solving past papers. So section A requires this much time, section B this much time, and section C this much time. If you find that certain questions are easy for you to answer in terms of maths, chemistry, or physics, you can do that. But do not toggle much with the sequence. Try to maintain the chronological order. Maintain your speed, okay? Do not rush through the exams. Regularly check, time left for the rest of the questions. Give yourself time to proofread. Now, this is very, very important. You have solved the entire paper. Now what? Do you have 10 minutes? You will have to revisit your answer sheet. You will have to revise and check tally with the questions that I have solved. Section A, this question. Section B, this question. Section C, this question. So proofreading, revisiting your answer sheet is a must. Okay, once the announcement is done, 5 minutes prior, your answer sheet should be ready on the table, neatly tied. If you have taken supplementaries, tie it, relax, go through the entire paper. Don't be stressed. So if you see this video, the entire video, and follow the simple basic rules and simple ways to handle your stress, you'll be definitely benefited. Now there are a few questionnaires. I am just going to pop them up, and you can just see that this is the first question. Which of the following is not a part of stress management? Now we just can see which of the following is not a part of stress management: making changes to your life if you are in a stressful situation, practicing self-care, managing your response to stress, and igniting the flight or fight response. It is not a part of stress management. Last option is the correct one, igniting the flight or fight response. When you see this video, I will be answering few of the questions, and when you see this video once again, you can just attempt these questionnaires on your own, and you can assess yourself as to how stress is supposed to be handled, right? And there are few things which are very much correlated to stress. Now, which of the following is not a benefit of stress management? Now, benefit if you are managing your stress: deep breathing, clear cognition, good mental health. These are the benefits. What is not the benefit when you are managing? If you are managing and if your blood pressure is increasing day by day, then that means you are not managing it. So the benefits are deep breathing, clear cognition, and good mental health. And increased blood pressure is not going to be a benefit. Now, which hormone affects our immune and digestive systems and is released into our bloodstream when we are stressed? So cortisol is a hormone which is released into our bodies when we are extremely stressed, and it affects our immune and digestive systems. Okay. Now, when a person is overstressed, which of the following might they experience? These are very common symptoms which are actually seen in persons who are deeply stressed. Difficulty in concentrating, trouble in sleeping, which is very commonly seen, mood swings, all three. So the option all answers are correct is going to be the correct option. Moving on to the next question. This, I think, is a very important thing which everybody should follow, that every individual has got different sleep requirements in general. So how many hours should a person try to get sleep every night? The correct answer here is 7 to 8 hours. Everybody should be sleeping 7 to 8 hours at night especially. Now, a limited amount of stress can help increase your focus, can be exciting, quickly react to opportunities, and all of the above. Yes. If there is a small amount of stress within yourself and it is probably productive to handle or to tackle a given task, it can be all these. It can increase your focus. It can be very exciting. It can quickly react to opportunities, and all these three responses are there. Now, odd stressor. These are list of common stresses, and what is the odd one out? Death of a loved one stresses you, losing a job stresses you, receiving an inflated bill stresses you. Sometimes moving a house, which is the odd one that we can see over here. That's the odd stressor, because all three that are listed as A, B, and C, death of a loved one, losing a job, receiving an inflated bill, all these factors, they stress you a lot. Now, there are many conditions associated with increased stress in these current times. What are these? All these symptoms are very commonly associated with stress, depression, panic attacks, anxiety disorder. They're very commonly seen among people, probably the stress in their personal life or in their professional life may lead to all these disorders. Next one. Choose the main illness that can be renowned to be directly related to stress. Now, influenza, diabetes, and arthritis are not related to stress. We can very well make out that heart attack and strokes are something which is directly related to stress, and stress can lead to heart attack and heart failure. Now, if you are having a little stress, what are the benefits? It can help you focus, gives you a short burst of energy, add more pressure to the people around you. Due to added responsibility, you become angry. What I feel is both A and B, because if you have a little amount of stress, you start focusing, you start doing the work very diligently, very sincerely, and you are energized also. That, okay, fine, I have a target, I am a bit stressed, and I have lots of energy, so I can just finish the work. So how can we cope better with stress? The most important question. Learn to ignore it and it will go away sometimes, but people cannot ignore stress. Second, drink in moderation. No. Go to the doctors and ask for tranquilizers. That's a big no-no. In fact, the fourth one, identify stress triggers and learn to deal it with it in a positive manner. Moving on to the next slide. What is considered self-induced stress? If you feel obligated to say yes to everyone's request, you tend to overpromise and underdeliver. You tend to push people to their breaking point. Actually, everything. Unnecessary getting into stress is what? You commit something, you promise, and then you are not able to do it, and then you tend to push people to their breaking point, and you end up in a mess. Okay. So I hope the session was very useful, wherein we had a very good conversation over how to handle stress. I have given you certain handy tips regarding this as to how to handle it, how to follow a good routine, a good regime. Take short breaks in between your studying schedules. And while you are there in the examination hall, you will have to read the instruction, revisit your paper, carry water, carry sweets, ask your invigilator. There are plenty of simple things, that you can just do it. So if you have liked my video, please share it, and please go to www.unacademy.com, and we will come up with the next session. Sessions are going to be much more interesting with different kinds of interesting topics, and you will have definitely a very fruitful and beneficial sessions. Please use my referral code PC29 if you are subscribing for a plus course, and you get a flat 10% discount. And I hope it was very, very beneficial to all of you. Thank you so much. See you again in the next class.